coming in at Portland Street, for someone to be shot through the window.
An apparent Instagram beef in Florida led to real-world consequences when a gunman allegedly opened fire on a pop-up marijuana event.
Right here. He was hit right here.
We got it.
Here's your entrance gun right here.
We have dug through the body camera footage, police reports, interrogations, and more to try to see how police were able to track down their main suspect.
Ramon, what's up, brother? Stand up for me. I'm gonna take some of these cuffs off.
And we are going to be sitting down with our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, the powerhouse law firm that was able to secure more than $10 million for the victim's family. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. By the way, one of the reasons we can follow a story like this is because of the incredible support that we get from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest personal injury law firm. This is a firm with over 1,000 attorneys who've recovered $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. In the past few months alone, a client in Florida received $12 million when insurance offered just $350,000. Out in Pennsylvania, another client was awarded $26 million. That is 40 times the insurer's offer. And Morgan & Morgan, they make it easy to fight for what you deserve. You can even start a claim from your phone. So if you're injured, you can start a claim at forthepeople.com/LC Sidebar. You can click the link below, or you can scan the QR code on screen. The family of a Florida man who was gunned down in a business park where a pop-up marijuana event was going on was recently awarded $11 million, and that is all thanks to a civil lawsuit that was filed on their behalf by our sponsors here at Sidebar. We talk about them all the time, Morgan & Morgan. Now we are showing you how they operate in action. This is a real-life example. So as the man who is accused in this absolutely senseless shooting awaits his criminal trial, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the evidence, how this apparent case of wrong place, wrong time unfolded, and a little bit later on, we're bringing on Morgan & Morgan's attorney, Varun Ramnarine, to analyze the civil side of this story, the $11 million. Now, according to police and prosecutors in Orange County, Florida, we're talking about Ramon Luis Arroyo Galva took a dispute from the online space to the real world, opening fire outside an office park and allegedly hitting an innocent bystander during his barrage of bullets. And after the shooting happened at around 9 p.m. on November 17, 2021, you had Orange County officials release surveillance video, and it was showing a man dressed in long black pants, black shoes, a hooded sweatshirt, gloves. You have a hail of bullets hitting the building, and then the man takes off. And investigators believe, they say, that man is Arroyo Galva, and it would be more than a year before he was arrested. But it's when you take a closer look at the evidence in this case that you can see how police determined, in their view, he was their man. Now, before we dive into the details of what happened on Cortlandt Street in Orlando that night, I gotta introduce you to just some of the main characters, the players in the story, to make sense of it. At the time of the shooting in 2021, then 21-year-old Arroyo Galva was out on bail in Orange County because he was awaiting trial on drug charges. But prior to that, he had been arrested in 2018 for pushing his way into his ex-girlfriend's house and punching her dad multiple times in the face because he wanted a necklace back. By the way, two other important people in this case that we need to talk about. They're identified only as Witness 2 and Witness 3 in court documents. According to detailed police records and affidavits and arrest warrants, Arroyo Galva wanted, or seemingly wanted, to be in a sexual relationship with Witness 3. She told police the two had communicated on Instagram, but when they were hanging out once and he tried to kiss her, she blocked him. And here's the main crux of the dispute. She claims Arroyo Galva called her boyfriend, Witness 2, to try to cause problems. And just days before the shooting, an Instagram account reportedly connected to Arroyo Galva with the handle Pot of Gold Co. posted a new story. And that story read, quote, "How I sleep at night knowing I'm the reason why a couple is getting into a fight and arguing." The next day, investigators claim that Arroyo Galva and Witness 2, they crossed paths at this cannabis pop-up party on the south side of Orlando. And these kinds of events, while purporting to be for those, with medical marijuana cards, they kind of operate on the edge of legality. In fact, later court paperwork that was filed on the civil side would describe the parties as a way to, quote, engage in the unregulated sale of marijuana and psilocybin mushrooms. So with all that in mind, Arroyo Galva and Witness 2, they allegedly got into a fight at that south side event before separating. And then just one day after that, November 17th, there was another pop-up cannabis event on the north side of Orlando. And that brings us to the man who's really at the center of this whole story, the person that we should really be talking about. The victim, Vinh Chung. He was a 43-year-old beloved father who just happened to be attending the same pop-up event as witness 2 at the Cortlandt Avenue office park. Police say he was standing on the other side of a glass window, which had its curtains drawn, when Arroyo Galva allegedly started firing indiscriminately. Witness 2, so the likely intended target here, if we believe these accusations, took off, was uninjured, according to deputies, but it was Vinh Chung who suffered, and it was his family who suffered. When armed police descended on this scene, it kind of took them a minute to figure out where exactly in this large complex the shooting had happened, but then it quickly became clear.
Call was coming in at Portland Street, for someone being shot through the window.
So deputies, they climbed through the broken glass door to the unit, and they find Vinh Chung bleeding on the ground. A woman in workout gear was trying to help him.
Right here. He was hit right here.
We got it.
Here's your insurance going right here.
Fire department's right here.
I was putting compression. I don't know what else to do, but I feel like he's not breathing. I wanted to start compressions. Do you feel a pulse? He's...
Fire department's right here. Here, we got it.
You sure? I'll do compressions?
Yeah, you can sit.
I'll help.
Sit inside here.
There's a party in here. I don't even know what was going on. I'm just working out.
Now, this is important when we talk about the lawsuit later on. It turns out that at least 2 of the building's first floor units were connected with a gym on the other side. And deputies, they had searched this maze of hallways to make sure, that the gunman wasn't still on site somewhere. And this was all as paramedics rushed Chung to the hospital. And sadly, he didn't survive. A medical examiner later concluded after an autopsy that Chung died from a gunshot wound to the chest. According to the police reports, deputies found 18 .40 caliber cartridge casings outside of the building, all believed to have been fired from the same gun. And inside, they discovered around 14 pounds of cannabis and several edible cannabis items. The deputies quickly ruled out armed robbery because Chung still had close to $2,000 in cash on him. It wouldn't make sense. And according to an affidavit that was filed in support of an arrest warrant, it says, quote, based on the crime scene observations, it did not appear that the suspect knew who he was shooting at and shot indiscriminately through the window, inadvertently striking Vinh Chung. It was clear that Vinh Chung attended the cannabis pop-up parties, but no evidence of anyone wanting to murder Vinh Chung was located. Additionally, no evidence of any recent feud was located within the phone of Vinh Chung. So while technicians processed the crime scene, you had deputies who were interviewing witnesses, and that included the woman who was exercising at that gym next door when all this gunfire broke out.
I'm working out, okay? The door was shut between us and them. I don't know what's going on over there.
Okay.
And so I'm working out, and all of a sudden I hear shots ring out. And we normally keep tape on our door so that you can come in and out of the door because the gym's open all day. So when I heard it,
We're gonna walk over here.
Yeah. So when I heard it, my first instinct was to flick the lights off, and we had windows open. Okay. So my whole thing was, I don't know where this shooter is. So I shut the lights off, I ripped the tape, I shut it, and I run and I lock the door in between them and us. And I literally went around and shut all my windows first before I called anybody. And there's a big knife, that's the only weapon I have. And then finally, I said to Rick, I've got to go over there and see what happened. I said, we have to. And he was like, wait, don't go yet. And I was like, we just got to see. And all these people, chaos, scrambling. They're like, where's my stuff? And they're all like running to leave. And I'm like, is anyone hit? And I saw the guy, ran and got my gloves to see if I could find where the wound was and see if I could put compression on him. And then I ran and called you guys. Okay. That's about
you did all of the right things, and I know you're really upset right now. You've been through a lot, okay? And I know we're asking a lot of questions right now, and it's like last here.
I know you need to piece it together.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office says that in the days after the killing, they got a tip that Arroyo Galva had been in a fight at the first pop-up event with another Hispanic male, the one that I mentioned before, that's witness 2. So he agrees to come in with his lawyer to speak with detectives.
Just going to be honest with you, we don't think, we don't suspect you in anything. We're really just looking at as a witness, potentially, and just wanted some information that you knew or might know about the homicide of Vinh Chung. All right, but for the record, did you know Vin?
No, I don't know him. I haven't seen him all over social media, though.
You have been seeing him?
All over. Like, that guy's all over the media right now.
Is he? Okay.
Like a famous person.
Because of the homicide, or?
Don't really know too much.
Okay.
Like I said to my lawyer, and I'll say it to you guys, I was at an after hour spot, just chilling and vibing. Some kid had beef with me on social media. Me and the kid got into a physical altercation. After that, they tried to shoot up the place. The second time I went back to the afties just to pay my respect, you know what I'm saying? Because we got into a fight. I was trying to tell the owner, like, yo, my bad for fighting in your spot. He was like, yo, it's all good. Went inside. I chilled for like, I want to say 10 minutes. 10 minutes, gunshots started going off. Bang, 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 bang. Everybody ran. Once everybody ran, I left. The only reason why I didn't get in contact with y'all is because I ain't trying to get into no with nobody shooting at me.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, witness 2 apparently told detectives that he was taking heat from people online who thought that he set off the chain reaction that led to Chung's murder. In his interview, he referred to Chung by the nickname Asian. Take a listen.
Who's this? It's an Instagram post that I...
That's the dude. That's the dude I was talking about. No, this is me posting this, and this is a screenshot from me to the person.
So did you write that?
I wrote this screenshot, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that talking about? Where it says, I wish it was me on the bottom instead of Asian.
No, because the Asian was dead, so I knew that they had beef with me. So I felt bad that, you know, everybody blamed me. And
Did you know Vin as Asian?
I knew him as Asian because, you know, he's an Asian gentleman, so we used to be like, yo, that's the Asian from you know what I'm saying? I used to see him in the casinos. Mm-hmm. I see him all over the place. Supposedly he's big time. So I used to, you know, I felt bad because everybody's blaming me. They're like, oh, it's your fault. You got into a fight with the kid. If you didn't get into a fight with the kid, I'll be dead. So I'm like, damn, you know, I feel bad.
Text you that. So you have it.
I feel bad because I ain't want that to happen to him. You know what I'm saying? I just literally wanted to know why. If the kid would have just said, yo, this is why I wanted to fight you. Like if it was, oh, you slept with my girl or you was texting my lady, I'd have been like, yo, fam, if that's what it is, my bad.
Did you sleep with his girlfriend?
No, I don't know him. I don't know who his girlfriend would be. I don't know him like from Adam and Eve. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just everybody's trying to slay me. So I sent that to the promoter and he was like, yo, like, I'm going to try to help you. Because I know everybody's killing you. Everybody's like literally, they were like, yo, you're a bad guy. You're the problem. You come here off and chilling with this dude. I'm like, yo, bro, like I didn't kill nobody. I didn't put no guns on nobody.
Do you feel like this was retaliation for the fight?
Respectfully? Yeah. Respectfully, yeah.
Did he make any?
It's because you got your when you pulled out your gun, I see it as a typical Florida move. I'm not from Florida. Typical Florida move. Mm-hmm. You get into a physical altercation, you get beat up, now you picking up a gun. Because it was literally the same motion. Before, boom, after we done fought it out, he went right to the car. I'm thinking he's finna leave. I don't think the fight's over, you know what I'm saying? No, they're like, yo, he's shooting. I got to my car and I slid.
And detectives also caught up with witness 3. So this is witness 2's one-time girlfriend, right? To see what she had to say about all this.
Do you know anything about the homicide, about the fight between and Ramon?
I mean, I heard some things about it, but I was not there to witness anything.
What did you hear?
I just heard that Ramon was trying to fight because I honestly blocked Ramon's number and I was not trying to talk to him. And I think he got in his feelings and that's why he tried to fight.
Okay.
But that's pretty much the gist of what I heard. And then I heard that he was the one who approached. He started fighting him. Okay. Because I honestly got mad at him. I was like, oh my gosh, why are you fighting people?
Right, yeah.
But it wasn't, apparently it was Ramon that had initiated it with him. He came to look for
He came, okay. And where did you hear that from?
Honestly, just from like someone that I know.
Was it or was it somebody else?
No, it was a third person.
Would you be comfortable giving me their name?
Honestly, no, because it's just an older person. I don't want to get involved.
That's okay. Yeah, that's what I asked.
For me, telling me.
Okay.
Then you go to January 5th, 2022. So this is more than a month after the shooting. And Arroyo Galva was in the passenger seat of a car that was pulled over for a tint violation. He was reportedly found with cannabis and drug paraphernalia. This is according to court paperwork. Deputies, they take possession of his phone and then they bring him in for an interview with detectives.
Ramon. What's up, bro? Stand up for me. I'm going to take some of these cuffs off. I guess you had a dime bag on you or something today?
Yeah, I had like a little weed. I kind of found it weird because like I got caught with like a little more than that.
Oh, okay.
And one time, but they didn't take me here though.
Okay, gotcha. You didn't come up here on your own, right?
What do you mean?
You didn't just come in here on your own. You didn't drive your car up here, come in here and just meet with me.
I was in my friend's car, and I guess we got pulled over because of his tints.
Right.
And I guess he
You were put in handcuffs.
Yeah.
He driven up here.
He said that I didn't have the marijuana in the medical container.
Yeah. What I'm getting at is I have to read your rights in order for me to talk to you, right? For me to ask you questions, I'm not asking questions about the weed. I could care less about the weed. All right, so what I want you to do is listen to me, and if you have any questions, let me know, all right? Listen, man, I'm not here about the weed. I'm here about something a little bit bigger. I was told you got into a fight with somebody about a month ago. You got into at a vape shop. You got into a fight with a guy over a girl, over some Instagram.
Nah.
You remember?
No, I don't really recall.
What do you mean you don't recall? You don't recall getting into a fight?
Yeah, I do, but I don't see how that has to do with my marijuana.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You got into a fight with this guy? Over an Instagram post? Did you get into a fight?
I didn't get into a fight. I actually got jumped, and
that's what I remember talking. You got jumped. Did he rob you?
Nah.
So what do you mean you got jumped?
Nah, I was at it was like a vape shop, you could say, and I was
a pop-up, a weed pop-up.
Yeah, I was buying weed there, and then
that's all good.
All of a sudden, I just got jumped.
Out of nowhere?
Yeah, and then, but yeah, I did, his girl, me and his girl, are pretty cool and stuff.
And he didn't like that?
Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly him, but, that's all I could,
okay.
Because that's the only person I would do.
Do you know him from Facebook or Instagram?
I actually don't know him.
Okay, but do you know of his Instagram handle? You know how people go by Instagram?
Nah, I don't know him like that. I don't know. I just know him because his girl used to talk to me about it, and I seen a picture.
His girl?
Yeah.
Nah, it happens.
Honestly, I don't know if he's the one that jumped me, but it was multiple people.
Okay.
It was 10 people. So.
Okay. So. But you had a thing going with his girl.
Kind of
Do you remember her name? Or what she went by?
I think it was. I don't know, but yeah, basically, we weren't really cool like that.
I gotcha.
Basically, I just one time, and I went to one of these pop-ups, as you said, and then I was trying to purchase some.
Yeah.
And then I just got jumped, I got hit, and then I just covered up, and then my boys came to get me, and then we just left.
Okay. And do you remember what day that was?
But it was security. There was security there. So
yeah, I know. I got the video.
I couldn't really see you feel me?
Do you remember what day that was?
No.
Okay. Well, it was November 16th, 2021. It was a Tuesday.
Okay.
Do you know where it happened?
Not exactly.
Do you know what part of town?
Nah, I was in my boys' live, so I don't.
It was okay, at the vape shop over there. I know that because I got video, I got all kinds of stuff.
So the detective asks Arroyo Galva about this Pot of Gold Instagram account that I mentioned before, and Arroyo Galva swears up and down that it isn't his. The thing is, investigators, they are able to connect it to an email address, which is apparently in his name.
So here's the thing, man. The very next day, right, we had a homicide. And we have all kinds of video, high definition video, tag readers, we got it all. And so I'm curious if I can tell you that at 11:17 at 9 p.m. that you weren't home and that you were in fact at 850 Cortlandt Street where the homicide occurred at the weed pop-up party.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm asking you, how can we explain that? I mean, it's not like I haven't done my research. I've kind of dotted the T's.
I don't know any pot of gold.
Okay. Well, what's convenient is just right after this, you got rid of your phone, got a new number, got a new handset, you sold the car, moved to Georgia.
No, I was planning to do that anyway.
Oh, you were planning to do that anyway?
Yeah, my life wasn't really going. Okay. I planned over here. I was going to UTI and stuff.
What's UTI?
Universal Technical Institute, and I ended up getting terminated because of my attendance and stuff. So I couldn't really find a job over here. My mom.
So then, would you agree that if I have somebody on camera that looks a hell of a lot like you, very good high definition video, shooting into this building, and I can prove that you were there and not at home, then should I just arrest you for the murder?
There's probably not a video like that.
Oh, would you like to see it?
I wasn't there.
Would you like to see the video?
I mean, not really, because I know it's not me, so
Okay, but what I'm saying is if I can prove that you weren't home at 9 o'clock on November 17th, like you just told me, then would you agree that then I could say that you're in fact lying to me and you probably did do the murder, and would that be enough to convince you that you did this?
I mean, I highly doubt there's any video of me.
No, I can show you all the video of you guys running back to the car. There's two people, you and the chubbier guy that ran through the vacant field in the black car. You guys went down, made a U-turn, parked in front of the vacant field, used the cut, went in there. He stayed back, and then you joined him. Like, do you think I just made this up?
No, I wouldn't say you made this up.
Okay, so
maybe.
So would you like to sit down and review this video? Maybe you could identify yourself off that video?
Nah, I don't.
You don't want to do that?
I mean, you can show me the video. Like, I don't have a problem with that, but like, I don't know. I can't help you any more than I already have.
Do you have a firearm?
I don't own any firearm.
Have you ever bought a firearm?
No, I can't buy firearms.
You've never had a Glock 9mm?
No, I actually tried to buy one, and they said I couldn't because I had a withhold, and then I got arrested for some weed, and I ended up getting my weed card.
So, Ramon, is it possible that you were just at that weed pop-up party on the 17th when this incident happened, and you were just a witness?
No, I don't even go.
Is that possible?
No, I don't even go to, I really don't go to those like that, but I went to that one. I went to that pop-up, but I really don't go like often, like to those.
Right. You know, a lot of times I talk to people like this, and the main thing is they're like, man, I just stay at the house. I never spoke to so many people that stay at the house.
I mean, I didn't say I stay at the house.
I know.
You kept trying to tell me that I stay at the house,
well,
which is, I understand you're trying to like I don't know
what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, but oftentimes people telling me one thing and trying to set up what we call an alibi is extremely detrimental to them in the future. So telling me where you were on a specific date and then me proving elsewhere and having all this video and then proving you were there, that looks really bad. Whereas if you were just honest and said, listen, man, I got my ass beat the day before. I went there, my buddy tried to scare him, and I'm a witness. That's believable. Because the guy that caught the round wasn't this guy. It was a total innocent person.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? And so that's what I'm trying to say is that if that did happen and you are just a witness, that is completely different.
And despite the detective consistently countering Arroyo Galva's statements with pieces of information that he's learned, the suspect continues to insist he couldn't possibly be involved. In fact, he says he's never been to Cortlandt Street, wouldn't even know where it is, despite the Pot of Gold Instagram account seemingly sharing an Eventbrite invitation link for that night's pop-up event there.
You've never been to Cortlandt?
No.
So that's what I'm trying to say. If you said you never have been and I can prove that you were there, then is that fair enough to say that you're a murderer?
Nah,
no.
I mean,
why?
Because I wasn't there. Like, I wasn't there. Like, I don't know what else I could tell you. Like, I kind of want to talk to.
Okay. Do you swear?
Attorney.
Okay. Do you swear that you told me the truth today?
Yeah, I want to talk to the attorney though, because like I just find everything kind of strange.
But you swear you told me the truth? Can you raise your right hand? Oh, well, do you swear you told me the truth today?
Yeah, I did. I swear.
Okay.
I told you the truth.
And you want to talk to an attorney?
Yes, sir.
According to the arrest affidavit, deputies, they held onto Arroyo Galva's phone. They got a search warrant for it, and that was the next stage because it turns out Arroyo Galva had changed his cell phone number. According to the arrest warrant affidavit, after the murder of Vin Chung, Ramon Luis Arroyo Galva deleted his email address that he had since 2015, deactivated his Instagram account, which appeared to be extremely profitable for him, and changed his phone number. So investigators served a search warrant to get access to this Pot of Gold Instagram account history, and they uncovered just a treasure trove of posts and messages. Quote, a review of Ramon Luis Arroyo Galva's Instagram page revealed several videos of him showing a Glock 40 caliber with an extended magazine. The videos of him showing the Glock 40 caliber firearm with the extended magazine were posted on his page days before the murder, specifically on November 1st, 2nd, and the 12th of 2021, days before the murder of Vin Chung. And the affidavit also included messages that were sent on this Pot of Gold account in the days after Chung was killed. Relevant. In one, a person hearing about the shooting asks, damn bro, what happened? And Pot of Gold, the deleted account reportedly belonging to Arroyo Galva, responded, I can't talk about it. When I get back, I'll catch you up. There was another message that apparently said, I gotta lay low in Georgia for a bit, fam, my bad. I'll be back December 1st. There was also this chilling message, seemingly to indicate that Arroyo Galva knew the man he was accused of killing. Quote, I feel so sorry that happened. He was my homie. Now, one counter-argument can be, I just knew who he was. Doesn't mean I was involved. Anyway, it took a while for the digital technicians to be able to get into the phone that they had confiscated from Arroyo Galva after that traffic stop because it was password protected. This is according to the arrest affidavit. But when they did, they discovered a message on Telegram that read, "Phone number changed. Dear Pot, your phone number was successfully changed." And it provided both the old number and the new one. So allegedly, again, he changed his phone number the day after the killing. But using that old phone number, investigators were able to use GPS to determine that Arroyo Galva was indeed at 850 Cortlandt Street at the time of Chung's killing. The affidavit gave this synopsis, quote, in summary, the search warrant results for Ramon Arroyo Galva's Instagram account revealed that he was in possession of a .40 caliber Glock firearm, was involved in a fight the day before the homicide, and even knew about the cannabis pop-up party at Cortlandt Street on November 17, 2021. Additionally, before the homicide, Ramon Arroyo Galva wrote that his little were going to terrorize some bleep. And then after the homicide, he wrote that he had to go to Georgia to lay low because he got himself into trouble. You go to the summer of 2023. Arroyo Galva was officially arrested on first-degree murder. And in a tweet, the Orange County Sheriff's Office wrote, detectives worked diligently to identify the suspect in this case. It's a reminder that they never stop pursuing justice for those who are murdered in Orange County. And right now, Arroyo Galva is still behind bars awaiting trial. That's the criminal side. This now brings us to Morgan & Morgan. This brings us to the civil side. And this is so interesting because even before detectives had publicly announced who their suspect was in Chung's killing, his adult daughter filed a civil lawsuit against the owner of the building, AK Family Holdings LLC, in 2022. And then you had an amended complaint that later added On the Move Fitness LLC as a co-defendant. Now, it's a little confusing, but basically, AK Family Holdings owned the building and then rented out all the units on the first floor to On the Move Fitness, also referred to as OTM in court filings. And then OTM had rented out 1D for all these kinds of different events, and that is where Vin Chung died. So the crux of the lawsuit was that it was the responsibility of the building's owners and management to make sure that it was safe, that anything going on at the premises was on the up and up, that there was security put in place, that they should know what was happening, that they needed to make sure members of the public coming on site were safe. You're talking about negligent security. And in fact, here's how a court filing lays out each defendant's involvement. Quote, decedent was killed on the premises, a commercial building owned by defendant AK. The portion of the premises in which decedent was injured was Unit 1D. Unit 1D had been leased to defendant OTM. Decedent was injured on a portion of the premises owned by AK, which had been leased to OTM. However, while decedent was injured in Unit 1D, the shooter fired the shot while standing in a vestibule. The vestibule is considered a common area under the lease. Remember that, common area. We're going to talk about that again. Now, the principal for AK is referred to in this filing as Mr. Cotta, and the principal for OTM is referred to as Mr. Pierre. Let's go through this. Quote, Mr. Pierre permitted events such as birthday parties, aerobics, dance, salsa, hip-hop classes, and posing classes for bodybuilding in Unit 1D. He received payment for all these events. Mr. Cotta was never present for these events, and it is unclear if Mr. Cotta knew of these events. But at the time of the shooting and decedent's death, Unit 1D was being used to host a pop-up marijuana party. The purpose of this pop-up party was to engage in the unregulated sale of marijuana and psilocybin mushrooms. Defendant OTM permitted these parties and received payment for allowing the use of Unit 1D. Similar parties had been held 3 prior times. The testimony at trial was that Mr. Pierre never informed Mr. Cotta of these parties because he, quote, didn't think it was important. So after a lot of back and forth between everyone's attorneys and a jury trial, Vin Chung's estate was awarded $11 million in January of 2025, with AK Family Holdings found to be 20% responsible and On the Move Fitness 80% responsible. However, there was a twist. Months after that verdict came down, there was an amended final judgment that was entered, saying that it was actually OTM that was fully responsible for the $11 million and that AK Family Holdings, they basically own nothing. Chung's estate has appealed, asking that the original judgment be reinstated, and that is where we find ourselves right now. All right, so to help me sort through all of this, and there is a lot to sort through, I want to welcome on a special guest, Morgan & Morgan's attorney, Varun Ramnarine, to the studio. Varun, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you,
appreciate you coming in. Let's start here. How did Morgan & Morgan get involved in this case, and what was the role that it played in the lawsuit?
Right, thanks, Jesse. So Morgan & Morgan got involved in this case when the decedent, Mr. Chung, passed away. He had a close family member, a cousin, who was friends with Dan Morgan of our firm.
Friend of the Sidebar. We know him well, yeah.
Exactly. So they were friends, and his cousin called Dan and he said, hey, this happened to my cousin Vin. He was killed at an event. Is this something that your firm could help with? And Dan put me in touch with the family, and I said, absolutely, we could help with it. And that's how we got involved.
Did you immediately suspect that these property owners might be liable for something?
Yeah, we did. When we pulled up the property where the incident occurred, we found out that it was a commercial office building.
Yeah.
And when we found out what event was being hosted there, pop-up marijuana party, you wouldn't typically associate that with a commercial office property. And so we started to put two and two together, and we figured that we had an owner that was probably absentee and allowing tenants to do things on the property that he should not have allowed them to do.
What's their responsibility? Because I mean, that's a good question, right? I mean, if you rent a property out, do you have to continue to monitor what they do? Right. What's the responsibility?
All right, so in Florida, the law is with respect to premises liability. A premises owner has a responsibility to maintain their premises in a reasonably safe condition. They have to correct or warn about dangerous conditions that they know about or should know about through the exercise of reasonable care. And then when you come to this subsect that is negligent security law, a landowner has an obligation to their guests and invitees onto the property to protect against foreseeable criminal acts by third parties that they know about or should know about. So the whole question becomes foreseeability.
So talk to us about this trial. You were part of the trial?
Absolutely.
Okay, so why did the jury decide the way they did, kind of splitting responsibility in a way, but ultimately, siding with you guys?
Right. So what I think the jury did is they looked at everything. And what we had, Jesse, was you had a property owner. You had a guy who had IT experience. He purchased a commercial property, saw it as an investment. He had absolutely no experience with commercial property management. He purchased it as a tool for investment income. He took no steps to avail himself of what the standards were for a person who owns commercial property. He hired a company to find him tenants. When he purchased the property, he had a large mortgage on it, so he was leveraged. He had to meet his monthly mortgage obligations, so he needed tenants who were paying him rent. He hired a company to find him tenants. Once he had the tenants in place, he was collecting rent, and he turned a blind eye to security on the property. He never did an audit of the property. He never contacted the company, for instance, that he used to find tenants. That company offered commercial property management services. He never availed himself of that. He never took any steps whatsoever to walk the property, to contact local law enforcement, to find out what the security requirements would be for a property like that.
And then why in the end was it reversed where you had OTM was fully responsible for the judgment and not AK Family Holdings?
Yeah, so not to get too much into the law, but there is some case law that talks about nuances between property owners and tenants. And so in this case, AK Family Holdings was the property owner. Under Florida law, they have a non-delegable duty. The other defendant was the gym, On the Move Fitness, and they were the tenant. And what happened in our case is the gym, the owner of the gym, was subletting the gym for various purposes. So we found out that he would sublet the gym for salsa parties. He even had a wrestling event posted there, and then he would host these marijuana pop-up parties just to generate more income. Our client was in the leased space where the gym is. The shooting occurred in a common area that was under the exclusive control of the property owner. The bullet penetrated the window leading into the gym and unfortunately hit our client. To answer your question, though, there's some law in Florida that talks about responsibility of a tenant if they're not in control of a common area of a property. That issue is still being worked out in the courts, though, as we feel that we've got a strong position as to why both entities are responsible.
What was the defense? I mean, was it that it wasn't a common area? Were they blaming one another? What was the defense that you saw?
Yeah, the defense was this wasn't foreseeable. There was no way that they would have known to anticipate, one, that a tenant. So the property owner said, look, I rent this out to a guy who operates a gym. That's what he tells me he does. I don't think he's doing anything else. I don't know he's doing salsa parties. I don't know that he's hosting pop-up marijuana parties. Yeah, it's reasonable, but the problem was the owner never took any steps to do inspections of the property. Had he done so, he would have seen that the space was being used for more than just a gym. And so for the owner of the property, the defense was this wasn't foreseeable. And for the gym owner, they really had no defense except to say, we just didn't think this would happen. We knew that we probably should not have rented it out to this group of individuals that were hosting this event, but we didn't have any reason to believe that there would be a shooting.
$11 million. How did it get to $11 million? I mean, that's a big win.
You had a 34-year-old who was killed, who left behind 2 children, left behind a family. The losses are well beyond 11 million. We asked for more. The jury, that's what they returned. But in this case, you had a 34-year-old father left behind at the time, a daughter who was 17, a son who was 14. And you ask, well, how do you get to 11 million? It's the testimony of the children. Having a 14-year-old who at the time of trial was 18 years old, he had just finished high school, the daughter was in her early 20s. But having them talk about the impact of not having a dad around anymore for graduations, the daughter is going to get married shortly, not having a father who's there to walk her down the aisle. Those are the types of damages that I think connected with the jury.
No,
what's that worth? Right?
100%. And some you don't know what the worth. It's hard. The 11 million. How is the family doing right now? And has that been paid over, or is that going to be a process?
The 11 million has not been paid.
Okay.
We're still working through the court process. There will likely be an appeal taken, depending on what the decision is made in the circuit court. The family, how are they coping? They're doing the best they can. These are admirable children, all of the family members, extended family members, et cetera, but they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And it forced them, a 14-year-old, in particular his son. His testimony at trial was, this wasn't just my dad, he was my friend.
Yeah.
Right? And so it forced him to grow up a lot faster, both him and his sister, to grow up a lot faster than otherwise.
It's funny, you say in the law foreseeability, I'm a lawyer too, right? Foreseeability. For Mr. Chung, there was probably never could imagine that something like that would happen. His family probably never could imagine like something like that would happen. It's such a horrible, horrible case. You mentioned the appeal, right? So there's an appeal to get it back to that original split.
So after the verdict, there were post-trial motions that were filed by the defendants. One of the post-trial motions essentially requested a new trial, which was granted at the trial court level. We are currently, there are motions at our side, we have filed against that are playing themselves out. Once we have rulings on the motions that are pending in the circuit court, then we'll determine whether or not there will be an appeal.
It's interesting when you have a case, a civil case that is connected to a criminal investigation. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Orange County deputies, they were still doing their investigation when this lawsuit was filed, and Arroyo Galva hadn't been arrested yet, right? How did that affect it?
So it didn't affect our case, but you are right. The criminal investigation was still underway, actively underway as we were litigating our case. Shortly before trial, Mr. Arroyo Galva was apprehended in Georgia. But it really has no effect, Jesse. You would think it would, but it doesn't, because in the criminal department, the state attorney in the state of Florida, they're prosecuting this individual for what he did, the criminal act. In our setting, it's a civil arena, and we're not prosecuting Mr. Arroyo Galva. Yes, certainly he is responsible. He's the one who chose to fire this bullet. Our position is a little bit different. It's more nuanced. What we're saying is this property owner allowed for this to happen, and he allowed for it to happen because he failed to have any security measures on site. In Orange County, to give you an example, the Orange County Sheriff's Department will come out and give any commercial property owner a free, at no cost at all, audit. They will come out, they'll walk the property with the owner, an agent of the owner, and they will give the owner a report telling you what your safety obligations are. This particular property owner did not even know that that was an option that was available to him. And so in our case, when we are proceeding against the property owner and the tenant, we're not so much saying that you're responsible for pulling the trigger on the gun that actually led to the death. We're saying you're responsible for creating the circumstances that allowed it to happen.
It's separate. It's different. In other words, you don't believe the circumstances of your case really are going to play into the criminal trial at all.
Okay. There's a reason why a shooting like this wouldn't happen in the middle of Times Square, New York, right? Because there's security presence there. There are people there. There's a reason why it happens at a office building that's got dim lighting, inadequate security, no barriers to entry for anyone, meaning anyone can access the property.
There was something else I wanted to mention to you. You don't always get it, but sometimes you get jury questions that come up during deliberations. I always think it's interesting, kind of gives an insight into what the jury might be thinking. So there was one question that said, can the award amount be appealed? What did that tell you about the mindset of the jury?
It told us, when we got that question, it was late at night. We got this verdict, I think around 11 o'clock at night. This was around 10 o'clock. So it told us that they had passed the issue of liability, and now they were considering damages, right? So we were optimistic, meaning if they were going to rule against our clients, they wouldn't be asking a question about damages. And then, the issue is, well, how much are they going to award? We asked for more than $11 million, and our thought is different jurors, they come in with different experiences. People hear lots of things about, well, you've got runaway juries and verdicts that are large, and then they may be reduced after the fact. And so I think that was playing in the back of their mind. Well, hey, if we award the amount that's being asked for, is that something that'll stand, or will a court or will some other body come and reduce that amount?
Do you think at this point in time that the family is going to see the $11 million?
I do. I'm optimistic. We will make sure of it. We're not going to stop until they do. It's the right thing. A jury of their peers decided that that's what they were entitled to.
So we talk about Morgan & Morgan all the time on Sidebar. This is one of those cases that, obviously I think it's showing the work of Morgan & Morgan in action, but also it's such a tragedy. There's such a human element to this. I feel terrible for Mr. Chung's family. So our thoughts, our prayers are with them. We'll continue to follow it, see how it progresses. But Varun Ramnarayan, thank you so much for coming in and explaining a little bit more to us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jesse. And the Chung family thanks you as well.
You got it. And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can follow me on X or Instagram. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.